This episode of the Wrong Advice podcast is powered by Harlow, the only woman-owned lighting brand for photographers, videographers, filmmakers, and content creators. Designed for those who push creative boundaries, Harlow lights are compact, powerful, and built to inspire. Harlow creates tools that stand the test of time, crafted for those who see light as an art form. Harlow believes that your light can be bold, powerful, and beautiful, and that it deserves to be seen. Visit Harlow online at www.harlow.com or follow them on Instagram at Harlow Creators. Welcome back to the Wrong Advice podcast. I'm your host, John Pacino. I'm very excited to have the one and only Mr. Rob Tirrell in the studio with us today. Rob, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Can you give a quick introduction to the listeners to who you are?
Sure. My name is Rob Tirrell. I am currently the general manager of the New York City Leica flagship location store and gallery. I'm originally from Boston. Lived in LA for 8 years, back east, been in New York for almost 2 years in November. Photographer, socialite.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm going to start.
Not so famous.
I'm going to start calling myself a socialite.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor. There
I like
you go.
that.
All that.
Fuck yeah. So you opened the Leica store in New York? Was that so you've been there for 2 years?
Yeah, I was with Leica in LA as the assistant manager, and then kind of proved to them that I could handle it. I had run another retailer before in LA really well, and so they were like, hey, we think that you've got what it takes, because I had a photography background and a retail management background, and that's what kind of really put the two loves in a way of like community and photography into one with Leica. And they already had a great existing community, but I feel like I've found a way to navigate and tap into it more and really showcase what could be done when you just feed the community and not really push sales. Everything comes natural.
Yeah.
People really support back, and it's been really lovely to have that. And yeah, being in New York has always been a dream of mine. So to open a Leica store in New York is truly ideal, where it's plugged me into the city almost immediately. My friends have really kind of welcomed me back east. And I've met new friends, and it's been beautiful to bloom into the Leica world.
Into the socialite that you are.
The socialite,
That's
exactly.
fucking awesome. So growing up in Boston, like, were you always taking pictures? Like when did photography kind of come into your life?
Yeah, I mean, my parents both were like casually photographers. Like
sweet.
They'd always have some sort of camera. My dad eventually moved into more of like a video camcorder life, as one dad does in like the early 90s after the 80s craze of like film. So that was always involved in my life, but I never thought you could make money doing it. It was just something that like was documenting life, and I just thought that was what everybody did. Yeah. Until really seeing like my move from Boston to LA, I was like, wait, this is possible. It's not like a lottery ticket situation where one photographer gets to be the New York kind of legend. It's like, no, everybody could do this and just find their lane. So it was always a mix of like
growing up
in like, I thought you needed like an actual trade job. So out of high school, I was a mechanic, and I went to a vocational high school that taught me that. Photography was always just like second to everything, but always involved in my life in some capacity.
Man, I'm jealous of that. Like, I did shoot a lot of like disposables when I was like a kid in like 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, but then like kind of lost it when you get into like sports in high school and stuff. And then like having found it again like later in life when I lost my job during the pandemic, and that's kind of like how this whole career kind of started. It's been like the greatest joy, like just finding something that like you immediately have like a kinship towards, and then it's been fucking awesome. But I like always wonder like, oh shit, what if like I remembered I liked it as a kid and then never stopped? Like, where would I be today?
I think that too. I try not to get hung up on it because it could be really depressing. But my sister even was like into Polaroids and stuff, and that was like a big thing. And she's 6 years older than me, so it was always like, it was a staple in my life. But I never really thought of it as like a creative outlet, and because my sister ended up being like a singer in a band for a while, and like so that there were arts around me, and my uncle is a painter, and he does like wood burnings and paintings. So like art has always surrounded me, but I used to diminish photography a little bit as like a true art because everybody was able to do it. And now I'm like, oh wait, no, there's levels to photography, and I've seen them in the community of Leica or any brand of camera. Any camera can do what, like, it can create what you think it can.
Yeah, it's well, I will say like the community center around like I find to be like an actual real community, whereas some of the other brands like don't have that sort of like relationship. Like it's one of those things where you could be on the street and you see another person like it, and then all of a sudden you're having a 15-minute conversation. It's like if you saw a guy with a Sony, you'd be like.
And that does happen, and we've joked about this a lot. And
it's awesome.
Some people I've watched a podcast recently where they do kind of shit on other brands, and it's unfortunate because I think that it's the easiest thing for a brand to do is just to acknowledge their consumer. Yeah. And just literally all it takes is a like and a comment on a post on social media.
Oh my God. Or a share. Yeah. Oh my God. People would die.
God forbid you share to a story.
Yeah. The thing that lasts 24 whole hours.
Or you could delete it sooner. It could be up for half a day. I know. It could be up for 1 hour, but that's enough. It's
so funny because like I like, listen, I'm not going to pretend to be like a marketing genius or anything, but it is those little things that make you want to further invest your hard-earned money into a brand.
For sure.
And an ecosystem. And like I've seen it with friends of mine who are like, one of my good friends is a phenomenal music photographer. She's been shooting with Sony for years. Never got any love. Never got any like zero. All of a sudden, Nikon found her work. It was like, hey, we love your stuff. Sent her a camera. Sent her a lens. Sent her another camera, another lens. Now she's a Nikon shooter, and it's like, yeah, right. Like someone to like just show you this much. Like belief in what you're doing, and it's like, wow, that's such a nice feeling.
Relationship, and obviously, I do think you have to pay to play. I don't think you can come into this world of photography and just expect people to give you things.
For sure.
But that said, if you are buying into it and you are producing good work with that gear that you've paid for, there should be some sort of like acknowledgement there. It's like, hey, you know what, we are going to feature you in this, but we also want to loan you this, or it starts with a loan and then maybe it becomes a gifted situation.
Totally. Listen, I'm not advocating for free shit.
No, I know what you mean.
Unless you're Hasselblad giving everybody free cameras.
But no, Nikon, I think, is a brand that has been truly special to me. That was my first camera brand that I owned.
Nice. What was it?
It was an F something. It was FMG.
Yeah. I had an F2 for my dad or something like that.
FG20. That was like my first SLR experience, but obviously everybody starts with like the more kind of point and shoot styles, and then
cool pics.
Exactly, yeah. Cool pics. Got my cool pics. But then you go into more like the film journey of that, and then the digital side. Like I think it was a D5500 was like another crop digital camera that I had from Nikon. Then I went to Sony for a little bit. And that was like my main workhorse when I was helping this brand I worked for, Maxfield, with like some e-com stuff. And that kind of snowballed into getting noticed by Leica of like, wow, he does both photography and retail management. And so, what
was that like as a photographer getting the call from Leica? I would imagine that's kind of like, oh shit.
It was cool, but it was like it was a recruiter for Leica. Okay. It wasn't Leica directly, but then I did get a chance to meet my current boss, Onofrio, Mike G, aka Mike G, Genetazio, and that was really cool because I was like, whoa! Like I immediately just met with the CEO of this brand, which not many people get to do in the interview process. So it showed that they really were interested. I initially said no to the offer.
Really?
And then, it was like a financial thing. I worked for like a really like well-known, like if you know, LA brand that was making a ton of money in that space. And obviously the margins of clothing are different than cameras.
Sure.
So that played into effect of saying no initially. And then they came back to me about like 5 or 6 months later with a better offer that was still a pay cut, but I could make it make sense because I met with Mike G and he was able to kind of tell me, hey, if you check certain boxes off, and he gave me like a nice kind of like guided path of like, hey, if you do XYZ, we have some stores opening up, and they teased New York here and they teased Mexico City. My Spanish is not great, so obviously you know where I was going to lean. And I am a gringo very much, but I would have stood out very much.
I don't know, just button one more button.
Yeah, exactly.
You got
the Cholo vibe. I did come from living in LA, so
yeah, right.
Not wearing Chucks today, but
that's pretty awesome. I mean, like I think, one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of the brand is the heritage, but then also like hearing those kind of backups for like the way that they invest in their people and like want to see them grow, like that's nice. And obviously you want to be, get that kinship with like a brand.
You do. Anywhere you want to work, like you got to feel appreciated and valued and taken care of, and hopefully they can nurture that. I feel like the brand globally has done a good job of late since I've come on. I have heard some historical bad experiences that almost swayed my decision to move, but I'm glad that they didn't. So don't listen to the haters.
Yeah,
but
there's so many like haters. It's like such a tired mantra.
There's also some burnt ex-girlfriends and stuff that you gotta like really tunnel vision out. There's some nice ex-girlfriends and boyfriends that really have helped me out and kind of steered me in a really good direction. And so I appreciate those people. You know who you are, and that kept me kind of in a good headspace to navigate where I'm at now, and hopefully I'm on a good trajectory, and one day I'll be in a higher kind of executive level. At one point, I want you
want more responsibility.
I do. I think I can make a bigger impact at like a larger scale. Obviously, I feel like I made a nice impact in the local community in both LA and New York, which are obviously major cities that kind of bridge this country that we're in. I know I could do more, which hopefully one day I can.
Well, it's no hope. It's like definitely do, right?
I mean, it's definitely. I'm going to make the impact now, but can I move up? Obviously, there's some.
Oh yeah, it's like corporate America
involved.
stuff. Yeah. No, I mean, like that's totally like a
it's a
second nature of like for sure. I'm a big believer in manifestation. Like as cheesy as it sounds, like if you don't think you can do something or believe that you can do it, you never will. Like,
correct. Yeah.
And that's kind of how I've operated with this podcast and my photography career. It's like if I never believed in myself, I would just be sitting at home still. Like,
I mean, everybody talks about imposter syndrome, and it's very real. And you kind of because in most cases you don't have anybody who's been through what you've been through or wants to go where you go. And if you do have that person, are they open to telling you kind of like their little breadcrumbs and to lead you through that path that they did? But every path's different now. I mean, the world's ever changing with the political landscape, the cultural landscape, and obviously now the geographical landscape is being changed by the environment. So it's tricky to navigate that space and mental space. Yeah. But I think talking about it on stuff like this and really kind of making it feel like more inclusive and like, oh wow, like that person really is going through similar things, and we got to just communicate better and be more open to it and maybe a little bit more humble in a way, like, for lack of better terms, like you have to appreciate the journey more, and like you said, you have to have some confidence to know, hey, like I'm gonna make it happen one way or another, and go for it.
I fucking love that. I mean, I think like one of the beautiful things like is as bad as the world can look on the outside, like the human condition is more or less the same. Like we all want the same things. We want to be happy and successful and fed, and you know, I think the cheat code that I've experienced in like as I've gotten older in life is like living with like a little bit more kindness. Like it's so much easier to be nice than like a dick.
Correct.
And like you don't learn that in your 20s. You learn that like when you are a dick, and then you're like, oh, well,
wow,
maybe I could have
called me a dick.
Yeah.
Like wonder, and then you self-reflection.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And it's like, oh shit. Like, okay, you know, you can grow and you know, mature as a human being, but like realizing that everyone else is doing this for the first time too. It's like, oh, I get it. But like in a lot of ways, hearing like, you know, like I had Matthew Baton on the podcast. Obviously, you helped facilitate that conversation. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And the wonderful thing is like hearing a legend like that talk about his experience with imposter syndrome. It's like these are universally like sort of identifiable and relatable experiences to feel that way.
He's an incredible mentor and friend, and I'm grateful to lean on him. And obviously, like we have a great mutual support. He is fantastic, and it is eye opening. Like, whoa, this is a guy that.
He's done everything.
People idolize him, and he literally travels the world to this day, somewhere in the globe, wherever you are, Matthew, we love you. It's like, okay, no one is immune to it. No, there's not a single person in the world that is immune to it. Beyonce is not immune to it.
Yeah,
it's real.
It's a beautiful thing in a weird way because it's like, oh, it's okay. Like it validates my ability to feel like I don't belong because everyone, to some degree, feels that way.
Yeah, and people have the perfectionist side where it's like, I can't do it until I have all my ducks in a row, and then you have then you have the other person that's like, I'm gonna do it, but I'm not getting the views, and then they just fade away because they're just like, oh, it's not getting the traction. But I'm like, you gotta take that first step and really go, and the perfection will come, just like we talked about with these mic stands. It's like, oh man, I really wish I had better mic stands. Like they're holding the mic, they're doing the job. And we're here. So
that's a pretty good analogy, actually. That's like not bad. It's like the pair of underwear I have with a lot of holes on it. It's still doing the job, but like maybe.
All right, Hanes, if you're listening, or Under Armour, somebody,
Calvin Klein.
All right, we're going for Calvin Klein. All right, he has a preference. Well, if Calvin Klein listen, he's got. Maybe we can auction off his
my whole. Yeah. I'm curious. So, like that perfectionist mentality, like, does that like affect your ability to be creative? Like, do you have like a strong kind of
all the time?
Yeah.
Most recently, and I don't know when this is going to air, but so Leica announced their first ever film stock. So they made a 35 millimeter film, and it's black and white. I've seen examples of it. I have yet to use it. That is something where I'm like, they took forever to put that out, and they were trying to dial it in. They have a partner that is the manufacturer of that film, and it shows like, wow, like, okay, maybe it's not perfect, but they went for it, and it took the brand, been a brand for over 100 years.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
And now, after making film cameras for that long, they decided to dabble into the film world. And there was a ton of competition in that world, and they felt the need to get in it and play that game. And I think that they've done a good job with it. And we'll see if we do get our hands on it.
Yeah. Have you not shot it yet?
I have not shot with it yet.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I do have an idea, and which is like the twofold part of this answer for perfectionism, is I have a vision of, there's an old Ilford campaign that they had. I think it's like mid 50s, early 60s, where it was like kind of very much like a pinup style model with the film boxes. And I actually have this on a t-shirt.
Oh, sick.
And so I want to recreate that with the film stock. So don't steal my idea. Let me shoot it first, and then you could
patent pending.
Exactly. Then you could take it. But no, I want to do that with the film. And she's holding like, I don't know, I think she's holding like a Canon or something. But we would make it more on brand with Leica, and
that's cool.
Yeah, but I'm a perfectionist where I do want to shoot it very specifically and dial it in with get a model, get a hair and makeup person, and get a studio space to really lock it in and have that vision come true. And sometimes that is a detriment, and it will never happen. You'll never get that shot. You'll get something maybe better if you have your kind of peripheral open and you're not so much the horse with the blinders and one track minded.
Yeah.
So I've created a mood board to kind of get myself out of that like one image. Like if I don't leave here today with that one image, I'm going to be disappointed. So that's another thing with maybe kind of mental health in a way.
Yeah.
Of just
listen, man, I relate to that a lot because like the creative journey came super late in my life. So it's like trying to figure out the work that I want to create and how it speaks to me is super, super important because I don't want to just be doing this for the sake of doing it. Although that's great.
Yeah.
Like it matters. And like that's enough for me in some way. But like the work also has to speak to like the things that I want to show and share. And a lot of times I think you get kind of caught up in that social media mentality where 100%. It's like, I got to post every day.
Post to post instead of post to like just share like what you're proud of or post what you like.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of people get hung up on that daily. I mean, we go through that obviously on our social account. Like, do we post this? Do we not post this? Do we reshare this? Like, it just really, it's case by case in a way, but because some people really do need a post to kind of get their engagement, but also there's a strategic way of like, oh, we're going to post at this time because this is when our following is active or whatever. There's a science behind that.
Yeah, I try to look at it and then promptly ignore it every time that it's like, oh, post this time, and then it's like, I missed that.
Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, I like literally
because I don't know if it's going to get 10 likes or if it's going to get 100 likes. Yeah,
so that I've gotten a good job of not concentrating on, and I feel like when I started sharing the things I wanted to share instead of like just posting a reel because I knew it would get pushed out. Like number one, the work I'm sharing is better, and then number two, it's getting more likes and comments and whatever because it's better. Yeah, and it's like it doesn't matter if it's every 3 days or if it's like every day.
Yep. Well, no, I think people love genuine content and they love to kind of get that slice of life, and that's something that I've learned recently is like people do want to see me more in front of the camera, which is something that
sucks.
It does suck, but it's like, I mean, I'm not like super into astrology, but I am a Leo, and like people are like, oh, that's a Leo thing. You're just gonna be in front of the camera, blah blah blah. It's like that you're born for that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. I'm glad I am good at this, and like I have dabbled into some on-camera stuff. Being in LA for 8 years, like you find yourself thrown into small roles on films, and I dabbled into some voiceover work, and so like there are those things that kind of put you kind of in the spotlight in a way. So I think for you, it's like people do want to see more of you and get like maybe the slice of life of putting this together. And that's content that people like, they want to know. Same thing. It's like, is it achievable? Oh, wow, this guy is like doing it in his garage. We're in a garage. No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
But no, but like if you kind of peel back the curtain a little bit and reveal a little bit of the mystique to it, I think they were like, whoa, like, so you staged this so well. Like, I didn't know that this is not where I thought it was. Like, we're actually on the moon.
I actually like that. I actually, you know, I like that mantra and that mentality. Like my issue, like, is like I didn't start taking pictures to make videos about me taking pictures, which is like kind of very meta and like, you know,
I get it.
It's just not my thing. But I do understand that, and something that I've really worked hard in the last 6 months developing is like I put a lot of effort into what I'm doing, and I have to put my best foot forward by trying to get as many people to see it as possible. Because otherwise, what is the reason why I'm doing it? True. It's like just a selfish fucking indulgence. Like, who knows?
Yeah,
it is. But like,
but I mean, just like doing it totally. I mean, but for me, my perspective is like in the downtime, you're producing content, and then it's like it's still like related. Yeah, it's not like, oh, here's me at the grocery store, and then here's my podcast. Yeah, it's like it's here's me setting up, here's me like moving things around in the studio and really neatening things up as it grows, and then it not only tracks your journey, but even if you don't post it, it's kind of training yourself on how to produce that kind of content.
Totally agree.
And edit it.
See, that is the guy who runs a flagship store mentality.
I mean, you got to think of everything, and maybe I'm not the one doing it. Maybe it's outsourced. Maybe it's like, hey, so and so, like, you got to rely on that. You have to have a team. I have a great team at my location, and there's some days where I don't want to I talk to anybody, and I go a little nonverbal because it is still retail at the end of the day for me, and like that's my 9 to 5. It's like I'm investing 50+ hours a week of like dealing with customers or like and great customers in the community, and obviously we do events, so like the bandwidth is stretched kind of like with the job and then with the job at home of the second job, which is my kind of creative outlet and doing that. So
how do you juggle that? Like, and I'm speaking strictly from like an energy perspective.
It's been difficult.
Yeah.
Because I am a socialite. Yeah. I tend to kind of get maybe a little bit outside of where I should set my my radius. But that's because I love to support other artists. And so I do tend to kind of spend more time kind of uplifting those around me than myself. Which I do still love because I think that it's needed for us to kind of have that maybe mutual bond and hopefully it'll be reciprocated. It is being reciprocated, but like, you know what I mean? Like hopefully it continues to have that kind of like give and take that's infinite. So right now I'm struggling to have that kind of work-life balance. Recently I've started taking like more time away and like really focusing on like my personal being and not to trauma dump, but like losing my dad last year really kind of recalibrated how I wanted to do things.
Totally.
And it really shifted focus of like, wait, is this a priority? Or is like, maybe I can still, I was given 130%. I can dial it back to like even 110% or 100%.
Or 90.
Or even 90 some days. And there's nothing wrong with that. And
because you're a human.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like realizing that more. I put a lot of weight on my shoulders and I bear it. And I try and bear other people's weight. So for me, it really shifted the way I think, and I still do that, but I'm now picking and choosing a little more and maybe not outside as much just to kind of calibrate how I want to kind of give to others and feed myself. Hopefully
energy is finite. So, you know, unfortunately, you know, it is.
Yeah, there's not enough Celsius in the world that can keep you going.
Yeah, or 9 coffees, but yeah. I think one of the tragic realizations as you get older is that like the negative things that happen in your life are typically the biggest proponents in moving you forward and you know, maybe reorganizing or recalibrating like the things that are important. And like I'm curious how the loss of your father like impacted your mindset towards the future.
Yeah.
Because personally speaking, like I you know, my dad's been sick on and off for like a number of years. He's got a heart condition and stuff, and it's like, in a way, it's pre-mourned, right? So like, it's 12 years ago, it's coming, right? So it's like, in a way, having the ability,
you condition yourself
to expect the phone call.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how that kind of situation impacts your.
Mine was a little bit more sudden, and it was definitely something I didn't expect. Like my dad was healthy. I had him on ice skates like 2 years prior. So like that was kind of shocking to me. And he was 67, or I think he turned 68 in the hospital when it was going down. But it was very interesting. No, he was 67. I think for me, it didn't really make me think of like me having a future family at one point as much. It flashed like, hey, I'm currently single, not really seeing anybody as consistent to like think about starting a family with.
Yeah.
So that part flashed, but mainly it was career wise, because something that my dad and I talked about, and he used to joke, he's like, seems like you're doing good. He's like, I don't have any advice. Like, because I was doing something so far removed from what he was doing, which is what he wanted me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was a construction guy, 30 plus years in the construction world, doing labor foreman for a drywall company, like lifting shit. That was one of my first jobs when I was growing up. It's like 13 years old on the job site illegally, just helping him and my uncle. Just like
$20.
Yeah, exactly. He had $20 for the day.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Like,
I know.
It's like, we'll get you Dunkin' Donuts in the morning.
Yeah.
So that part, he really like shoved me. He was like, I'm going to kill you if you get into this line of work. He's like, you can make good money, but
he wanted more.
He wanted me to do way more, and it flashed. And me and my sister talked about this too. It's like both my parents sacrificed a lot to give us this opportunity to like, dude, I run a camera store. Like, how bougie does that sound? Like, and we sell art and cameras that are really arguably overpriced. Don't hate me like for saying that, but
potentially,
I think exactly. Well, it's definitely a luxury item.
It is a luxury item.
Rather
all
than like,
camera gear is luxury.
And I've been in nothing but a luxury space in my kind of career in retail. So he really, like, my dad didn't get it, but now I think he's like, oh, he can afford to do like my lifestyle is affordable because of these things. And I've been able to travel with the brand. I've gone to Germany to the headquarters a few times, and like that's really fun. So he got to travel. My dad was in the military, so it's like I'm starting to really think about like his priorities and how they were put in place to make a life for not only my mom but then for us. He would do these sort of kind of vacations with my mom like every 5 years for an anniversary trip. And I'm like, wait, like that's really cool. To like, he knew to take time away, and that's something that I really didn't learn until he passed. It was like, I knew it, but it really didn't click until losing him. I'm like, wow, like he knows to take a step back and be like, I've earned this trip. Let me go do it on my own. And it was not work related. It was purely relaxation and just like for the joy of the trip. Yeah. Which is something I have a hard time doing because there's always like some work element involved in some trip. Mm-hmm. Whether I was in like right after our the like 100-year celebration in New York, I took a time away and I thought it was going to be a trip away. I ended up working. My friend who's an actor, Carlos, was in a fan meet and greet, and then I got flown and I had to document that. So it's like it really wasn't a vacation. Yeah. We had fun, like, and that's one of my best friends. So like he knows when we need to kind of like check out and just have a drink or not have a drink and just walk around. It's that balance that I'm now starting to be more aware of, and I used to praise myself on maybe being aware, but now I'm realizing I wasn't as aware of things. So.
I used to pride myself on working myself to the bone, and then like I work so hard, like I'm so good, like reward myself for like killing myself, and then you realize like I lost my job during the pandemic, and while the company couldn't have been kinder to me in terms of like my severance and everything, you realize you're just expendable to everybody.
1,000,000%.
And then like that kind of switch flipped, and it's like I need to start living for me and not other people, and like my number one goal is to like make sure that my friends and family are happy and healthy, and then it's like me, and then like
correct. I mean, you're never going to stop working, and that's another conversation I had with my dad. And we had a joke. Our birthdays are really close to one another, and he came out to LA, and we celebrated his 65th at the time, and it was my 30th, so it was like a really cool like big year celebration. And so I took him to Musso and Frank's, which was like one of my favorite restaurants in LA. It's one of the oldest restaurants in Hollywood. The dinner was expensive. It was like almost $1,000, but it was but it was like me, my sister, my brother-in-law, my niece, my mom and dad, and myself, and we ate well, we drank well, and probably one of the more expensive meals I've ever paid for. And he was like, "What are you doing?" Like, I was going to take care of this, and I was like, "Dad," I was like, I'm still going to work tomorrow. Like, I'm making money, and even if I, like you said, if I weren't to work for this brand or whatever, or if I lost my job for some reason, the world shifted and we were back in a pandemic where everybody's laid off, I'm gonna find a way to make money again. Yeah. And like, I'm not gonna let this one, like, I don't do that every night. I'm not spending $1,000 every night. Sorry, ladies.
Yeah.
But it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, oh, I gotta make work. I gotta hustle and like make a podcast or something. Like, you find ways to get that income to make up for that deficit. And you have to have that maybe kind of the mindset of like, oh, I'm going to get to that goal. I'm going to get to the executive level. I'm going to get to be CEO one day, whatever, and make that money back. And it's only temporary.
Yeah, I'm a big believer of like monetarily experiencing life, and it's like $1,000 meal. You're going to think about that meal for the rest of your life.
It's a memory.
It's a memory. Yeah. And it's also like, it makes me think of this quote. It's like, I forget what it's from, but it's like, I wish there was a way to know we were in the good old days before it was behind us or something whatever that is. And like, that always makes me think of like every birthday I've ever had, every meal, every dinner. And it's because like it's so easy to get like disenfranchised with like what's going on in life because of all the stress that we have on a day-to-day basis. And it's hard to like really realize how lucky a lot of us are on our day-to-day lives, especially with the cacophony of life, right?
Correct.
Like we are inundated on a minute-by-minute basis of notification overload and all the shit that's going on.
Well, and like for us, like we live kind of within our means to a degree. I mean, I watch people drop more than what I make sometimes in a day.
Yeah, crazy.
And I saw that at my prior job too. It's like, wow, like someone just bought a table and chair set for how much? 130 grand?
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's insane.
And they're probably not going to sit in it.
Yeah. They're going to look at
it. So it's like, this is not normal.
It's like I'm making $30 an hour.
Like, okay, cool. I guess that's never going to be something I can achieve. But yeah, we live within our means, and you really gotta like either strive to like, oh, I'm gonna be, and there's nothing wrong with like, hey, I'm gonna be a billionaire one day, and that's if that's what you want to do, cool, make it happen.
I want like medium millionaire. I don't need billions. Like, I just want $5 million, and then like I'll do whatever I want in life. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Like
help
lottery.
Exactly.
Like
help your friends out, whatever.
Is retirement like 5%, $250,000 a year, and interest, and like that's it. Like that's not. It doesn't seem that it's not impossible.
It's definitely not in the city that we're in, even in Jersey now. It's like in New York, you're in that bubble where it's possible, and the median income is kind of getting there. And hopefully, businesses are starting to pay a little bit more. I know that's a hot topic right now, but I think
there's no such thing as an affordable wage anymore.
I know,
especially not in New York and New Jersey.
Definitely not in New York. Yeah, I mean the cost of living is insane. I mean I've afforded a lifestyle now that it's like but again I'm single. I don't have any pets or children. Like I can.
Well, I say that all the time when I splurge on another Leica camera for like the 5th time in a year. It's like I have no dependents.
Exactly,
like I have no diapers. Like it's cool. Like I can afford this. Credit card payments. But
yeah, exactly. But you space it out and you kind of map it out and do the whole.
Did you always have a lot of financial diligence? Because I feel like I had reckless 20s, so it's like
my gosh, I'm actually still a little reckless with money. But again, like you said, it's like it's those memories. Like I would rather pay for a memory than maybe a tangible item. And
same.
And I mean it's easy for me to say now that I've accumulated some cool cameras over the years, but that are still worth a lot of money and artwork too. Like I'd rather like spend money on something that's going to give me joy or someone else joy, like and sharing that with someone, like even if it's not their birthday, like, hey, cool, I'm gonna pick up this meal, and like obviously there's some friends that maybe take advantage of that, but
nice.
for me, no, there aren't. You know who you are. No, no, I'm kidding, but half kidding. At the end of the day, you got to really be like, okay, what do I really want? Do I put this away and save for what? Like, there has to be a goal with that savings. If not, what's the point? Because the bank could close tomorrow, and where's your money going?
Yeah,
like it's all digital now. I'm saying this to maybe get myself in more of a cash mindset because I don't really carry a lot of cash, but I'm like, damn,
I never carry cash.
I was like,
it's paper. It's not worth shit.
It's not worth a lot right now, but I
just want a million gold rings.
But it does. Exactly. Melt them down.
A bucket of them.
And for me, it's like, I don't know. What are you saving for? Are you saving for a house? Are you saving for a car? Are you saving for another camera? Like, cool. If you're putting it away for a specific goal, please do that. But
I was just like
saving to saving, and you're like,
my like mindset from a savings perspective is like I always want to have a 6-month buffer. If like anything, the world shuts off for 6 months, I'm okay.
Yeah,
and I don't have to worry about paying my rent or like anything else. Like I'm good for 6 months. And like that's kind of hard to do, but it's where my goals are going. Like get 6 months and then like 5 million. So it's like there's no in between. It's like it's like
yeah, well, I mean, obviously, I work for a corporation, and we have kind of a really good incentive and benefit of like an employee match for
sweet
an annuity. So it's like I have a good chunk in the 4 years that I've been with this company, and then obviously from the prior company, I was able to transfer. So like, can I touch it? No, not really.
You don't
without
need to
being penalized, but I just kind of let it do its thing, and I have it like at a really kind of like not a high risk, but like enough to where it's like it's making me money right now.
It's great. It's the way to be.
And I don't think about it. It comes out of my check every week, and like I don't know that it's missing.
That's the way to do it.
And that's something that again, like my dad wasn't the best financially, but he knew how to survive, and like got my mom and him a home, and it took him almost 20 years of marriage, and they love to say that because we moved around in apartments, but he did it and he made it happen. And so like, and obviously my mom contributed that too. My mom worked for 35 years being the manager of a supermarket, so I got a lot of like insight and tips from her on how to run a business, because at the end of the day, as a GM, like you are in control of everything. The bottom line with employee wages and stuff like that, I don't have like a total control of like giving them a lot of money.
Sure.
But I have to work within like the constraints of what their business plan is, and all like the expenses and P&L and really dictating margin on pre-owned stuff. So like I've learned a lot from work, and I've learned a lot from my parents, and even like my Uncle Ray is like really good with money, and like I used to look up to him, and I still do, but like it's trickier now because like now he's going a little crazy. Now he's like flipping houses. And I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah,
that's a lot. But that's what he wants to do. And
yeah, it's cool.
Growing up, I used to see him like, this man's got a sports car and a truck and a house. I want that lifestyle. Yeah, like, and he's got a kid. Like, yeah, I mean, he's doing stuff that makes, and he's cool, and he's into sports and stuff. I was like, that's a guy. And like, it was a second dad, so it was really cool to have that. And I picked his brain on financials, and he was smart, and he always was able to manipulate. Like he was also in construction, but he was in masonry. And so anytime his boss would be like, "Hey, we're a little behind on the job. We gotta work this weekend," he's like, "All right, cool. Well, you pay me that day in cash, and it's time and a half." And I was like, "You would just say that?" He's like, "Yeah," and they would do it. So if you're good and they need you, they will pay. So
that's the other great thing you learn as you get older is like identify your skill set and what it is, and figure out a way to monopolize it. And
negotiations too. Like I've learned a lot of like, it's kind of a game in a way, but it also is just, it's life. And you are your own brand, you are your own business, and you have to represent yourself well and carry yourself well, but also know your value and don't hesitate. Like really, and even I'm saying this, and even my employees are probably going to now kind of be like, well, I'm worth this now. And
that's good. That's
good. Please, like, let's discuss it, and I'll help you, and I'll coach you, and we'll make it happen. Yeah. But I think you need to have some sort of like feedback from that, and ask for it, give it, and have, it's a two-way street. I don't think that it's not like a taboo discussion of money.
For sure.
It should be more open and should be taught. And I know that's another thing that's going around. It's like financial literacy.
Imagine that. Could you imagine teaching people like how to actually have some semblance of financial literacy?
It's crazy. I mean, if there is I went to a vocational high school and learned how to be a mechanic, and that was very insightful. And I was lucky to have the teachers that I had, because they were like, oh, like, you're not just a mechanic, you are a technician. Like, you know math, you know how to do this. You can tear it apart, you can put it back together, and you know what to charge. You know how to charge for labor, you know how to charge for parts and make a markup on that. So I've always had some kind of resemblance of a business mindset throughout all my kind of, my mom calls it reinventions. Yeah. Like I reinvent myself a lot.
I like that.
And it's cool because I think everybody should try out one thing and dabble into it, because what do you want to get to 80 and be like, oh fuck, like
I wish I did something.
I never really pursued that, and I was really into that, and now I'm looking at my friend do that, or I'm looking at someone else do what I could have been doing, and you never know. It's that what if curse.
Man, that fucking speaks to me so much, because like I get that a lot, like internally, of I want to try to do something, and I've never been afraid to try and fail because I've done it a million times. And it's like I think at some point the switch flips, and it's like it's okay to take a chance and do something, like become a photographer, start a podcast, build businesses. Like you could do these things, you just have to try.
Yeah,
and you might fucking fail.
You will probably fail.
Yeah, you will flop on your face,
but you can still do it again. It's that Thomas the Tank Engine. I think I can kind of thing. It's like, well, let's see where we can go with this, and is there a path here, or maybe there's so many roadblocks you're like, okay, wait, maybe this is a sign to not proceed.
Totally agree.
So
I think in a lot of ways you have to like understand like where the friction comes in your life, because like those friction points will either nudge you in a different direction or a different avenue, and like that could be in your career, in your college choices, like anything. Like literally you have to like go where it feels like the things are flowing. Like that's where it makes sense for you to be.
100%. You right now you could look at an avenue and be like, oh wow, like I'm not really breaking it in, blah blah blah, I think I'm just going to give up. Or you could really kind of be aware, as long as you're leading with honesty, like people will give you like maybe constructive feedback, or you can kind of be aware enough to, oh, well, maybe I could have done this better. And it's really supposed to, it's trial and error, really. You got to just keep plugging away. Like every day is a new day for me. Like I could be a better manager tomorrow. Like, it's possible. I'm not that good at my job that I'm like, I'm like, oh, wow, I'm so good at it.
Is there any human that's like perfect though? No, because we're all incredibly flawed.
Always improve, and obviously, like then there's the demands of the job that change, and that landscape, and obviously, like we're dealing with a bunch of issues right now with like tariff price increases only for U.S. imports and stuff like, or like other imports to the U.S. Like you got to just go with the flow, and like you said, nobody's perfect. You can make anything happen and maybe not become super successful overnight. Like that thing, it's like you're seeing like the 10% success story, but you're not seeing like the below iceberg level of like what they've been through to get there.
The 20 years of work.
And no one noticed them at all. I take inspiration from like, and maybe it's because I lived in Hollywood for a long time and I've always super surrounded by artists and entertainers, is like J.K. Simmons getting discovered late. And like all these actors, like Morgan Freeman, even kind of started late. So you have to be like, oh wow, like this is a lifelong commitment, and I may never get discovered. But I can do what I love and still make some sort of living. Obviously, I'm not telling people to go out there and just like flop and live out of your car forever, or get borderline homeless and live out of a shelter. It's like you really can make a living, and for me, I think that's what's kept me kind of in like a little bit above survival level, is I found a job that's going to pay me how to live, number one, and have health benefits and a baseline income to survive. And then I can kind of choose what I do with my free time to prop up my second business, if you will, of my own individual brand. And they just happen to harmonize a little bit more than most. Yeah.
How do you juggle the hats? I'm granted the 9 to 5 constraints of like the job is easy, but like, how do you juggle like taking the necessary time for the personal endeavors? Because like, that's got to be tough.
It's made me think more long term than I prefer. Like I don't like to. I've never been a 5-year plan kind of guy. Ooh. So for me, I have to kind of think maybe in a little bit short term for my own self, because I like to go with the flow more. And it's gotten me into a lot of great rooms with that. But then I know I've missed opportunities because I haven't kind of just like committed to one thing. But that's again, like with the blinder mindsets, like, yeah, I could kind of narrow it down and really and focus on one goal, but then I let a lot of other things kind of go by the wayside. So for what I've done lately is I'm like, now let's carve out, okay, cool, I'm going to take a couple weekends off. Like I just, for the month of July, luckily I make the schedule, so I was able to give myself the whole month of July. I had every weekend off. Selfishly, my birthday fell on a weekend, so that was kind of coming into play. But then I also wanted to see friends who were in town, and I know that they like to hang out on weekends, and where does everything happen on a weekend? That comes in, that is a factor. Normally, I don't have any preference, and I'll work weekends. I'm not one of those managers that's like, oh, sorry, I'm not going to work a Sunday ever. Yeah. But it has really kind of made me think, okay, well, then since you make the schedule, maybe I do need to be a little more selfish, and I'll map out, and I've done that recently. I just booked a trip to go back to LA to hang out with some friends and do some work out there for a week and use some PTO. So I'm shifting it. I'm still learning, and I don't do it perfect, but if people like Mathieu Bitton, who has helped me tremendously and like kind of leading by example with what he's done and how he's able to kind of juggle multiple hats there, where he's like creative director for this artist, on tour with this artist photographing, and he's still kind of like chiming in with other artists and kind of really picking and choosing like when to use those hats. There's no answer to like, oh wow, like you need to do XYZ to juggle. You really just need to kind of go with the flow of everything, and it will tell you, hey, is this forced or is it not forced? And hopefully you can read that early. There's no like specific answer of like how I do it. It evolves and changes daily.
Got instinct. Yeah.
Because like for me, it's like there's some days where I want to photograph and I want to do it, and then it just doesn't work out. We're like, all right, cool, we lost location, we lost a model, whatever, or the makeup artist is late, and this whole thing. Sorry, my makeup artists are usually on time, so sorry. But you know what I mean? Like
it's usually the talent.
It's usually the talent that's late, but sometimes the talent is up early, or they're doing a bender or something, and they just show up and that they look great all the time. There's no my way or the highway kind of thing where it's like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do this, and then you can juggle that while also working the 50+ hours, or it's also the business that I run is a priority, because that could dictate, and I could not have a day off for 2 weeks. And then I got to recalibrate. This is the word that we brought up earlier. I got to recalibrate what's available to my future timeline, and maybe I got to set more time away, or I got to now I just banked X amount of PTO. I'm going to flip that at the end of this 2 weeks of nonstop work at job 1 to really improve job number 2 and get myself some of that creative outlet and keep my sanity going. Friends help me with that too. Like friends will kind of see that I'm kind of going through it and maybe investing a little bit too much time. Well, it's appropriate and it's needed to feed that business, but maybe not so much to my personal well-being. And now friends are starting to kind of be like, hey, they'll check me and be like, hey, dude, you gotta let's go to a game, or let's go for a photo walk. And my colleague Vincent does a good job of he's like, hey, I think we're gonna do a film photo walk. Like ironically, we do plan it out where we both have the same day off, and I'm glad all my team members are really cool and great photographers, so we all can hang out and shoot, and so they all have their strong suits. So some people will be like, hey, let's go down to here and shoot and then grab a beer or whatever. And it gets me out of my head, and that gets me back into the creative flow, and then it will inspire me into doing a personal shoot. Or I have a ton of ideas. I'm influenced a lot by film and cinema, as I said. So it's an evolving thing. It's an everyday thing. Yeah,
I mean, it changes. Like you said, you got to kind of flow with it and be open to the universe's opportunities, right? Something falls into your lap. It's like, hey, we need this, this, and this for the next, opportunity. I totally get why you have to kind of go with the flow as it comes.
I mean, one thing too is your network will also help you and feed into that. Recently, earlier this year, my friend is a successful commercial model, and he does a lot of kind of basketball appearances and stuff. And he played basketball professionally overseas. His name's Glenn, great guy, incredible photographer. Connected me to this producer Mike, who's also a former athlete.
Producer Michael.
Producer Michael.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
You know the guy on the internet?
Producer Michael. Yeah, that's funny. But they were able to connect me to do a shoot for Maury Povich's new podcast, and that was really fun because obviously he's
photo or video.
Photo. Well, I do a little bit of both, but and I don't typically do video, and that was the thing is I didn't edit the video, so I just captured the interactions with and it was 2 days, cranked out 6 total podcasts that he shot in those days, so 3 each day. The guests were amazing. He was amazing. He's super knowledgeable about a ton of different topics.
Cool guy, yeah.
Very cool guy. And I remember on the day, and one of the producers probably might hate this, they didn't like this one shot that I got, but I loved it because it was a candid. Because it was get him looking at the camera, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, anybody could fucking do that. Anybody could get this shot.
Yeah.
But then I had him kind of interact with Mike off camera, and it was a nice kind of genuine chuckle that he gave, and I got a couple of good shots, and I really liked one of them. And they were like, oh, we don't really like this one. And I'm like, well, cool. I was like, you do whatever you want. You paid me to do this. You could, their photos are for your use too.
Yeah.
The Wall Street Journal liked the photo.
Fuck yeah.
So then they ended up using that. And I don't know if it ended up making it into a print, but they posted it online, and it was really cool, and I got the credit. And
that's sick.
Yeah, that was really cool to see, because I'm like, see, I kind of know what I'm doing here.
I do like that. It's at some point you have to trust me. You hired me for a reason. It's trust my instincts, trust my abilities, and let's do it your way, but we'll also try it my way. And it's you have to have that trust with a client, and even if it's for the first time, yeah.
And it was the first time meeting that other producer, so I get it. It's he'll proceed with caution, and I was recording a lot, and there were some intimate conversations, but I was like, you can tell me to stop. Yeah. But I was told to photograph and video the whole day.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting these snippets, and you could post it without audio. I go, I'm not going to delete it unless you tell me to. It's I could stop, but also I'm going to keep it back up because I know you're going to want this at some point.
Yeah.
I know how it goes.
That impulsive decision of, we should get rid of that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care. It's going to be in my vault. I'm not one to kind of flip it and be like, wow, I got him. Like they said this, or they were talking about this financial stuff,
Yeah.
or like how they got this.
That's what NDAs are for.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, we're here. This is all in the film. Whatever stays in here is for you to use, and it was cool to have that moment. And
do you do a lot of that kind of like BTS stuff? Like, is that
I did a lot of BTS in LA, and then I might be doing some BTS stuff depending on how it plays out with my schedule and their filming schedule for an indie feature that my friend will be in out here. That's actually be shooting in Jersey.
Fuck yeah, dude! Jersey film is killing it.
It's killing it right now.
Yeah,
and but I can't talk about it.
Sure.
It's really that would be really fun.
I'm into BTS stuff. I had a really bad first experience. It was like laughably terrible. It was right when I first started doing photography, like as my job, right? And I got put on by this like, backstage.com at this producer, and then like it was like
basically Craigslist type of interaction.
Yeah, it was fucking terrible. And we shot so many days in and out the city and like on Long Island and stuff, and like promised payment, never got paid, and like just it was fucking awful. But I'd done it since then, and it's been a lot of fun.
I love it because I kind of categorize most of my photography that's not portrait work as like documentary, and kind of slice of life, and I don't consider myself a street photographer. Like I do dabble in it, but I can't consider myself one. I capture a lot of things. So, but BTS I feel is so cool, and then some sets, depending on the budget, makes your life a lot easier because the way it's lit. Like, oh wow, like every photo looks great, and then you can kind of play off the light and get maybe a backlit shot, or you can get a more dramatic shot. And when I do get to do it, it's really fun. If I immediately go to like one of the producers, or sometimes if you have access to the director or first AD, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna pull some of these actors when they're not on screen, and just like I'm gonna get some portraits of them and do that. And I learned that from another legend, Phil Caruso, who's like a iconic set photographer, and he's still kind of doing it even though he says he's retired.
See, I've been trying to get into that set photography stuff. It's like
it's tough,
impossible to join the union.
Yeah, it's expensive to join the union. It's not impossible.
It's impossible. You have to get the hours shooting sets.
That's true. Right now it's really, especially on the East Coast, I feel like it's really tough to kind of qualify. In LA, I was close to qualifying because you can kind of backlog some hours from certain.
It's like 3
projects.
years, right?
Yeah, but you can. Well, it's I forget the exact amount of hours, but you can really like for a local 600, you can get it. It's just costly now because you're basically going in as if you were like a DP. And
it's crazy.
You're paying into it just to say a card that gives you access like to be on set.
But
it'll help you get jobs.
It will help you get jobs. So I got a good.
It helps you get jobs, but the union does not help you get jobs.
They
don't refer you for jobs like
no. But like saying I'm the local 600 photographer.
Of course. 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why like the indie market I think is like thriving right now, and I think you can kind of and you could still do it. It's not like where you're SAG and you can't do non-union projects. You can dabble in both in local 600. And you can kind of choose your own rate, and obviously they're there. The union's there to kind of protect your back and like really kind of stand by your rate.
Not do what I did for free, exactly. By accident.
Well, but you could like,
listen. I would do it for free if it's the right thing.
Correct.
And we talk about that a lot on the podcast.
And that's the thing too. It's like no. So some of your episodes, like there's a moments where you're like, all right, is this going to benefit me in other ways, and not just like the whole I'll tag you on social media. It's like no, okay, like that. What does that do for me? Like yes, it might get
views,
more,
baby.
It gets me more views and maybe a couple more followers out of it. But they're not paying my bills. They're not doing any of that stuff. So, but it's relationship based. It's like okay, cool.
I get you this time. You get me next time.
Correct. And I worked for a director in LA, Samuel Gonzalez, who's like fantastic, and he's crushing it. And he's like mainly kind of in like that horror genre right now, but he does a lot of stuff. He does commercials, movies. He really was like, "Hey, dude, I can't pay you full rate, but I'll pay you this." And it was some of my best work on that project. And
why was that?
I think it was because I wasn't doing it for the money. I was doing it for that crew. Like that crew was all on a budget. And not making anything. It was like a micro budget that became like a really great project.
Sweet.
And the film actually just came out, and I'm in it for a little bit. I haven't watched it like the final cut because he did add to it. But it was it's called That Night. They changed it. It was what's the name of the film now? It's called That Night, but then he ended up changing it, The Plastic Men. And it deals a lot with mental health and that kind of thing. And it's based on like a true story that was like a Craigslist ad of kind of a misconnection or
Wow.
Very cool story. So Plastic Men.
I got to tell you, the horror genre right now is crushing.
Crushing it.
Cheap-ish budgets, and a lot of people want to do them, and there's just so much uniqueness that's coming out that's like really good stuff.
Love him or hate him, Jordan Peele is like one who kind of
he
really
must be pissed right now.
But he put a magnifying glass on this genre, like he did, and you got to give him credit. I mean, other directors try to do it and really kind of like it's always been there, and there's definitely like a cult following for all of horror.
Yeah.
But I think Jordan Peele made it more mainstream, and obviously when he started getting like these bigger productions on it, and you get Universal attached to it, like that's going to get a push
for sure.
I mean, I think one thing that was truly like remarkable is when he came out with what was it?
Get Out?
No, not Get Out, but what was it?
Nope.
Nope. When he did Nope, and they took the set from where he shot and put it on the Universal lot as like a tour. I was like, whoa, that has never been done.
I gotta tell you, Nope wasn't great.
Nope was a Nope, but
it really was.
It was bad. But
yeah,
the set that like they were like doubling down on him as a director, which I thought was really impactful. And it has forever changed the landscape there.
Yeah, which is exciting. I watched Borderline last night. It's a new. It's got Jack Nicholson's son, Eric Dane, Samara Weaving or Meaning or something like that. She's a blonde actress. She's been.
Oh yes,
not Truth or Dare. What was that horror movie?
I know who you're talking about. She's been in a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Oh my god, wait! It was so good. Where she gets married and then they try to kill her. Do you remember that movie?
I don't.
Oh shit! I'll look it up. I forget what it's called.
But I know she looks
Ready or Not. Ready or Not.
She's like a Margot Robbie.
Yeah,
type.
yeah.
She's like in that kind of. Yeah.
So, dude, I watched it last night, and 60% Rotten Tomatoes. I was like, had low expectations. It was fucking good. It was good.
That's the thing. Rotten Tomatoes, you gotta change your things up. But, they don't always nail it.
Yeah. That's pretty exciting. So when you like look at like your creative endeavors and like where you invest your time and energy, is a lot of it into trying to do backstage and BTS stuff, or is it like, you mentioned personal projects and things like that?
Yeah, it could be it changes so much. Like it could be live music. I do love photographing concerts.
Same, yeah.
And so that's like an easy kind of thing for me to do because of time constraints. So like I could do it after work very easily, provided the access. But yeah, BTS is really cool to do because like I haven't been able to do as much as I did in LA. Obviously, it's just because of
less
like,
production.
Production. I mean, there's a lot of production happening here, but it's just not close. Whereas in like LA, things would be nearby where I lived, and it wasn't as crazy of a commute. Here, it's like, wow, I really got to go like out of the city
to Jersey, yeah,
or elsewhere, or like upstate or something. Like they're filming it somewhere in Connecticut, and I don't have a car anymore.
I was gonna say,
it's like,
New York City,
but I could rent a car, but again, like they're more low budget. I'm not top bill, so I'm not going to get like
reimbursement.
Exactly. Like, oh yeah, let's get him a rental car, and we're going to get him gas, and
but not quite,
not quite there yet, but maybe one day.
Yeah, so. No, definitely one day.
Yeah, definitely one day. I mean, these are the things that we juggle. So it's like I feel like I could do a lot photographically, so it's like a challenge for me to be like, oh, do I want to be? And shout out to Phil for kind of talking me out of getting in the union when he did, because I think I would have been. It was pre-pandemic, and going into pandemic, I would have been screwed. But then now after, I would have been derailed coming out here for Leica, and I think I made that move, and it's paid off, and it's still keeping me kind of affording a life. But yeah, one day, I don't know, we'll see. I have a lot of friends who are actors that are doing well and coming up, and that's kind of like my like a back of the mind thought of like, wow, when they get big, or when my director friends are like getting a bigger project, they could just like plug and play me in, and they know what I can do. And
does building out the team at the store help give you the flexibility for the
1,000,000%? Yeah. Because if I don't have a strong team at the store, then I'm always on edge, thinking I need to be there.
Yeah.
Because like early on, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. If I'm not in the store, then there's a drop off in the experience. And not so much. Like everybody's really kind of holding their own, and everybody's different. And I really do love that everybody kind of brings a different approach. So it's unique, and it doesn't need to be Rob's store at all. It's the Leica store in New York, and it has its own vibe, and it's different than any other store in the world. So that's what I love about it. So yeah, they give me the flexibility to be like, okay, cool, yeah, I can take the Saturday off, or I can take a week off away, which is something that, again, like I didn't think that I could do, but now I'm like, you know what? Now they'll survive.
Yeah, well, 2 years in, you've built the thing to where it is, and like you've had a very strong hand in like getting it to that place.
Yeah, we've ironed out all the kinks of like just like the rudimentary kind of operational stuff, and then now personnel wise, like we've got a nice solid team. I was just able to add someone as a transfer to the team, so like now we're where I envision us to be fully staffed for what we do in the foot traffic and the community and all the demand of like events. Obviously, selfishly, some of them I put on and add to that bandwidth, but
I think events are really nice, though, as a person who's been to a number of the like events. Like I went to the Hodinkee one when the watch release. That was awesome. And like, getting
great
those,
partner.
when you get like the opportunity to be in the space, not just as like a retail oriented place, because obviously you have the gallery as well and the upstairs, and like just like getting access to it from a non-traditional sales method. I think it like, for me, it makes me like be reinforced on like what I've chosen to invest my hard-earned dollars into.
Correct. I mean, and we want to get back. Like I do the Cars and Coffee thing, and like we offered free coffee for 4 hours, or
Sweet.
a little over 4 hours. It was like not 8:30 to 12:30, and I think it went to 1 with those partners there with the local Porsche group of Manhattan, and we had Sunday Motor Company, which was great. So we had like the Metro PCA group with Dwayne, who's the leader of that kind of faction, and it was really amazing to see the turnout because like it's a free event, and it turns out huge with foot traffic. People come in, and it's benefiting the neighborhood. We got a little bit of heat from the neighborhood because we didn't ask for any kind of permit or anything.
Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
always. That's another lesson. Because for me, it's like, oh, we brought XYZ to the table. We didn't do anything bad. Nobody was doing burnouts. Nobody's like getting hurt. Like it's a very much like an affluent. It's very much an affluent kind of crowd. It's like it's Porsche owners. Like and Sunday drivers. It's like those are the people that come out. And we're hosting at the Leica store where like the median product is like $3,000.
Well, I thought it'd be higher than that.
It might be a little bit higher than but like if you factor in some of the lower accessories and like the Sofort and things like that. Like it pre-owned stuff. So we you can get out of there without spending a ton of money. Sometimes. If you're lucky, unless you interact with my colleague Roland, you might leave. You might leave with like more than you bargained for, and use it because he'll talk you into using it.
I'm curious, when you're putting on events, when you're like curating the gallery, like what goes into the thought process of like scheduling? Because obviously you have a packed social calendar in general, just being the head of this flagship store. How do you like handle the logistics of all that stuff?
So I have a gallery manager, and he's great. His name is Michael Foley, another Michael, and it's fun to have that dynamic of like, when we plan to roll things out, it's not quite a science where it's like we have a gallery related to a product, because sometimes we feature artists that don't even use Leica, which I think is very beautiful, and it also
I love that.
Kind of opens up the community a little bit more and shows that it's like not Leica all the time, and then like you got to walk in with a Leica to have entry. It's like it's not that deep. I think we really try and make it inclusive, and some of the gallery events we do can be like a pop-up. Like right now we have a gallery of 7 artists, which is the most we've shown in one. Wow. But it's only like a limited, it's like 3-week gallery, whereas like normally we'd have a 6-week gallery, which I think is a little bit too long. And me and Michael have our battles over this. I think it should be a little bit tighter, but I understand the work that goes into it of like he's the one hanging it, and then and kind of fully curating the selection of work, and he's done a fantastic job with that, and we've had very successful openings and gallery shows runs. So it's booked out almost 2 years in advance now.
Oh wow!
And he kind of took that from another good friend of mine and his counterpart on the West Coast, Paris Chong, who fucking crushes it.
Oh yeah,
she's incredible. You should have her on the podcast. She's got her own podcast.
Yeah, I've seen the clips.
So she's amazing. She's such a ray of light, and I reshared one of her clips of like, she's like, I'm not a photographer, I just love art, and that's so like her. That. Yeah, like she can take good photos, but like that's not her thing. She's really like all about the community and all about the culture of art. And she's done a fantastic job of building out that LA section of art and culture, not just at Leica, but in the surrounding galleries. And she's done that even now. She's bridged the gap here in New York. She's done a lot of kind of collaborations with. She's curated the artwork at the Gansevoort Hotel. So for her to kind of continually kind of promote other artists has been just like a godsend to the community. So, and now she's on the board of a lot of awards and a judge for a lot of awards, and so now she really has like an eye for it, and she knows her impact, and that's something I've learned from her is like we have a lot of power with the Leica name attached, and so we have to be very selectful of like who we give that to, because like it can really change someone's life for the better. So it can be maybe a little bit more selective in a way, maybe more so on my side of the business, with like who I bring in to work for the company or who I bring in to be involved in a project. But it can like the Leica brand carries so much weight, and at
Rightfully
that
so.
luxury level. So,
see, I think that's a beautiful thing because like it's nice to hear that it's not just like you know, like it's nice to know that this exists outside of New York. But I do have to give you your flowers. I think you've done a tremendous job in New York, developing a really nice community.
Thank you.
As a person who's only been with the brand for like 2-ish years now, there's never been a moment where I haven't felt like included in things, and it's a testament to like what you've done with the store and building out the like community in New York, and it's a testament to like what can be done when you do things the right way and like invest your time and energy into the right people. And I think that's like, you know, it's right to give you your flowers. And
thank you, man.
And it's pretty awesome. I've got a pretty cheesy line. If you've been on my podcast, you're part of my family. Thank you for coming on, man. It's been a real pleasure, and can't wait to do this again.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Take care.